I know. So that's something that can be done. Ajay, I'm going to come to you. What I'm going to request you to keep it very short, maybe a minute or so, because there are some questions that are coming. I want to give some time for questions, Ajay.
Yeah, sure. Well, if I just think that while planning all of these, the financing part, the most important thing is to explore what does the next normal, the COVID-induced next normal mean to us. That means that it has triggered the gig economy. People are working from home and whatever other disruptions have happened. That means the return on investment from a student standpoint can only make sense if the cost of education goes down. And the fact that the unlearning and relearning has to happen for life, each student will need to continue to come back to the institutes and keep learning. So there could be a subscription model. But more importantly, to add to what every panelist has said, where would the money come from for education sector? If we see 12 to 17 trillion dollars globally has been yielding negative returns. That means 12 to 17 trillion dollars of money, the bond money has been put in the bank, and the saver, the investor, is paying money to that entity holding that cash. Now, can we not look at ultra long-term funded foreign currency bonds and at least get some part of that money coming in? The endowment funds also, they have a lot of money coming in, but the legal and the regulatory framework has to be in sync with that so that the foreign money can come in. But more importantly, the prerequisite for that will be reorienting the educational sector model of education delivery. It will probably convert into nano degrees and a subscription model where instead of charging a fee for a given year, the student would come in for the 5 years. That student can subscribe to that educational institutes and choose the modular courses as and when they require it to be ready to really be relevant in the gig economy.
Ajay, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, and I want you to spend 30 seconds on another idea. I wanted to talk about it. We don't have time, but I'll ask you to spend 30 seconds on your view in creating an innovative model which is not based on a student loan, but based on the ability and the willingness and the commitment of the student to pay the institution back over a period of time, let's say the first 5 years after he or she graduates, based on their earnings, while the institution gets covered through support from a finance funding institution, for that, with some insurance, etc., built in on top. Is that something that's doable, you think?
Yeah, that's income sharing plan. There are some models which have worked in that. In my opinion, the endowment fund could be created backed by the alumni. So there is a peer pressure in that corpus of money. There are a lot of, in the US, some institutes are lending, they are direct lenders. So that pool of money can go to those students as and when they require it, with a caveat, very important caveat, that there is an integrated self-sustaining ecosystem for the money to come back. So there has to be some peer pressure, alumni group, that these are the people or the students who have taken the money, they are not paying. So if there are some deterrents to default, and if we have that ecosystem in place which is sustainable, it can definitely work. And then the skin in the game of the institute would also be there. So if the students are unable to find the jobs, they will get to know, their moment of truth will be how much money can come back.
Moment of truth. And I think I like that phrase, the moment of truth.